What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome back to another video. This one is a weekend review of the New York Jets. We've had actually a lot of news this week. Um, we started off with the 53-man roster, waiver pickups. We got new uniforms. There's a lot going on. So let's get into it. As far as it goes, the 53-man roster, I think it pretty much looks exactly how everybody expected it. I'm not going to go reading off all of them, but obviously as expected, the running backs pretty much stayed the way we thought it would with, Brees Bralin as Isaiah, Andrew Beck being a running back instead of a fullback. It's just semantics. So that everything pretty much shaped up. I think the surprises were Xavier Gibson being on the roster, us only carrying two quarterbacks instead of three, with Tyrod being injured. I think that was a surprise. To some people, surprise Jeremy Ruckert was still on the team, but we'll probably get into that here in a second with our waiver pickups. But besides that, I think everything else pretty much shaped up as expected. Um, if you look down here, these are our PUP, our IR players, and Brian Cohort is on the IR, and he's on season-ending IR just because they didn't make the designated determination on him as far as if he was going to be an IR for the first 4 weeks or if he was going to be a full-time. And I think you had a deadline that you had to put him on the 4-week IR, and they didn't do it. So that just kind of shows that injury was worse than I think most fans anticipated, because I think a lot of fans were expecting him to be back at some point in the season. So that just opened up a roster spot at D tackle, and Leonard Taylor luckily made the spot. I think that's going to be our probably our second best pass rushing D tackle. I know Tuafili was really good in the preseason, but we've seen Leonard Taylor in the regular season, and when he's played, he has played well. So it's really cool to see him, and then you obviously have the two new guys in Juwan Briggs and Harrison Phillips. I'm excited for week one to see those two guys and see Harrison Phillips on the line next to Quentin to start that game. Zaire Barnes making the linebackers was I think somewhat of a surprise for people. I don't know if he's going to stay on this roster just because we did pick up a linebacker off waivers. But he initially made it just because of his fantastic game against the Eagles. Like, he was all over the place. He was making big hits. So that's probably what got him on the initial. I would expect him to be moved to the practice squad at some point. But, yeah, I think he played himself onto that team just off that game itself, onto the team. I think he played himself onto the team just off of that performance alone. Edge-wise, I think everything was pretty much how people expected. Maybe some people were expecting Tyler Barron maybe not to make the roster just because he hasn't shown anything. But I think that's just let's just keep him on the roster. Let's get him some reps, and maybe he'll start to show something as he matures in the league. Brady McGregor has shown that he can actually play. So, it's not terrible. I would like to see them go, maybe get somebody, maybe a little into the season, go pick up a guy like Zadarius Smith or somebody that can come in and just add some more depth, because we don't really have high-end pass rushing after Jermaine and Will. I think the only other spot that was like a surprise was that we were only carrying 4 outside corners. Stiggers really showed that he could really play, and A.Z. Thomas, it was hurt, but he's a third-round pick, and he was showing that he was actually really good before he got hurt. So, I just think it was just surprising that there was only 4. But yeah, that's our at least our initial 53. It may not even be our initial 53 though going into the season in week 1. They did move Tyler Johnson to the practice squad, so he is on the P squad. that was probably just to make space for the guys that we picked off of waivers. I would assume he's just back on the roster by week 1. There's nothing really that tells me otherwise. But, yeah, so, I mean, as far as our waivers goes, we got Cam Jones, linebacker from Kansas City, and then Esa Pohl from Kansas City as well. I know a lot of Kansas City fans are upset that they got released and are at least not on the practice squad. Cam Jones, I guess, has played, and he's played decent since he coming in, or when he came in for the Chiefs. So it'll be interesting to see what they feel and their role with him. Esa Pohl, he had a top 30 visit with us during the draft process. So I think that the coaching staff and the management think that he could have a potential future with us. They probably saw potential in his top 30 and maybe would have been a guy they drafted if they had a pick in the 7th round, because I believe he was a 7th round pick. And them being able to get him off of waivers, it might have been a nice icing on the cake with this whole situation and cutting down players and finding out the players that are available. And then Jelani Woods from the Colts, that one is one that a lot of fans are pretty much excited about. He's a big tight end. And when healthy, has made some plays for the Colts. I don't have stats in front of me, but I just know that he has made some plays and he has looked good in this preseason. His issue is staying healthy. So if he can stay healthy, this is a guy who is going to push Jeremy Ruckert off this roster. Like I said, a lot of people were surprised that Jeremy Ruckert was still on this roster. With Jelani Woods being signed, there is a possibility that Jeremy Ruckert finds himself on the street. I mean, at least he's going to be on the practice squad, and then Ruckert probably gets moved to the practice squad, and Jelani Woods gets in there. If he can stay healthy, that's a big target. Our pickups that we got off of waivers, we'll have to see and wait and see how they end up being utilized on this roster. But, I'm not really too familiar with at least the first two. Jelani Woods, I did see a little bit of, and I have seen a little bit of in the league. I still think this is Mason Taylor's spot. He's going to be the dominant tight end, but having another big body tight end for Justin to throw to in the red zone is going to be nice. Now let's move over to our team captains. We have Justin, Elijah Vera Tucker, Jamian, Quinn, Garrett, and McCary Ball as our captains. Our offensive captains in Justin, Elijah Vera Tucker, and Garrett Wilson they make sense. Justin's a quarterback. He should obviously have that captaincy. I think he deserves it just because of the way that the players and the coaching staff talks about him. He just seems like a true leader. Elijah being named captain is huge. One, he's an offensive line guy, so it's good to have one on the offensive line. And he's essentially going into his prove it season. So for him to prove that he's a captain and show his worth there, his value there, is going to be huge for him getting a contract as well. So that was a nice one. And then Garrett's just if you think about the players on the Jets, your first two thoughts are Garrett and Sauce, to be honest. And Sauce not getting the captaincy, I don't think it's that big of an issue because, to be honest, you don't need that C on your chest to be a leader of this team. And Sauce is one of the biggest leaders on this team. I just think that having your linebacker and your D tackle kind of makes sense for that as well. So I think Sauce will eventually be a captain. It's going to happen eventually. But I like our captains. I really do. McCary Ball, I think, was a surprise to most people, but you need a special teams one. And if people feel like McCary Ball is the guy at special teams to be captain, then good for him. It's really good for him. I mean, it's all team-based voted anyways. All the players are voting for the captains. So you can't really be upset for who they chose. But I like it. Being able to see it on Justin Garrett and Elijah and Sherwood and Quentin is going to be dope. And finally, let's get into some more news. We got our rivalry jerseys. A lot of hit or miss with this. It's like a lot of the younger fans are really into this, and a lot of the older fans aren't. I know a lot of people are having trouble kind of telling what the jerseys are. I think this kind of depicts it pretty well as far as it goes. It's like a grayish green, like almost like a fighter jet kind of attire. If you actually look at the attire that fighter jet flyers wear, it's that kind of like that green. I think, is it this one? No, it's gonna be this one right here. So this kind of depicts the green a little bit better. It's just a really dark green with like a hint of gray. I hope that when we play the Dolphins in this, it's gonna be a sunny day so we can actually see the green itself and see how good it looks in the sun. It is later in the season. I think it's like week 14. I think we show these off, and it's against Miami, which is kind of weird too because Miami has an all black uniform. But I mean, hey man, if that's how they want it and that's the matchup they want it, that's whatever. I think honestly, ours with New England's on the field are gonna would look amazing. And then you have Miami versus the Bills. I feel like those are the rivalries in this division anyways. Miami and the Jets are somewhat of a rivalry, but I think when you talk about the rivalry in the AFC East, it's the Jets versus the Patriots. And then you talk about the second, like the little brother rivalry, it's the Bills and the Dolphins. So I feel like that's who should have been playing with these quote unquote rivalry jerseys. But I digress. Here's just some more looks at it. I think they look good. I saw what they're gonna look like for us as fans. I'm not a big fan of it just because this pattern kind of looks weird when it's really long. Which is another thing. Garrett's gonna have the long sleeves. I have not been a fan of Garrett wearing long sleeves since he did it beginning of last year. I wish he would go back to the short look, but well, I mean, he got to do him. But it just to me that the sides just don't look good long. Here's another look at them on the players. I think they look good. I just think they look good. They're unique. They're different. That's what you want in an alternate uniform. You don't want it to look the same as the other uniforms. It's an alternate for a reason, and it gives a player something good to feel good in. And they're gonna look fresh. I mean, just look how fresh this looks. I like the helmet too. I can't really tell. The helmet's the one I can't really tell if it's like a black or gunmetal kind of look or what it is. Because it looks black in the pictures, but then at some points on other pictures, it kind of looks like that deepish green. I just want to see these. I want to see these in the sun. I really do. I want to see these in the sun. But again, I mean, like, look at our QB1. We're finally going to have a QB1 that's swaggy. Like, come on. This dude looks good. And hopefully he can play good, because if he can play good, it'll be a fun season. That's one thing I'm excited about for the season, is it's just going to be a fun season. It is. There ain't no doubt in my mind. It's going to be a fun season. We've had such stressful seasons the last like 4 years. I mean, ever since Robert Sala's second season, it's been so stressful as a fan. We're worrying about Zach playing well, he getting benched, and we're starting off 7-4, and then we just kind of bottom out at the end. We can't beat Minnesota. We struggle in Seattle. That season was rough, and then we go into the season with Aaron. 4 plays in, Achilles tear. Zach's back in. We win a couple games. We're looking decent. And then all hell breaks loose with Zach, and that just goes to shit. And then that whole season just goes to shit. We're starting multiple different quarterbacks, and it was just not fun. Then last year, we have such high expectations. We think, oh, we're going to do it. We got Aaron Rodgers, healthy Aaron Rodgers with this team is going to be great. Then the defense kind of falls down a little bit and isn't as good as they were the year before. The offense just looks like crap. It was bad. Like, I'm sorry. The way Aaron Rodgers wanted to run that offense was not great. I like what we've seen a little bit from this team. A little motion, trickery, and just wait till we get to the regular season where they can actually pull out all the stops. It's going to be a different season, but last year was just dreadful as well. And then you had everything that happened after, and it's just, can we just have a fun season? I don't even care about expectations. Making the playoffs, great. That would be extremely exciting and fun to watch. But we just need a fun season. Win 7, 8 games. Be competitive in every game. But don't make it dreadful. Make it fun. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. Make it fun. And I think this team will be fun. I really do. I really feel like this team is going to be really fun. We have good players, really good players. We have a good foundation. This coaching staff looks like they can actually coach and coach up players. So this is just a building block year. We don't need to expect to win a Super Bowl, win 12 games. Just win a bunch of games. You know, don't go 4 wins, 5 wins. Win like 7, 8 games. Barely miss the playoffs or even make the playoffs. And let's roll into next season with some good vibes and the fans not freaking out and at each other's throats and complaining about the head coach and, you know, our team and who we need to get to get us to the playoffs and stuff like that. It would also be nice if Justin could develop and actually become the franchise guy. I'm not going to say he is. I'm not going to say he will or won't. But if he could show us something to where we can trust him going into next season and not have to worry about a young quarterback or drafting a young quarterback to have to start him, that would be great. I mean, I would appreciate it. If Justin could become the guy and finally get us out of this quarterback purgatory we're in, that would be great. Like I said, I'm not expecting anything. I'm not, you know, my expectations are that he'll have a decent season and he will, you know, at least play well enough for us to win games. But, God, I just want to be out of quarterback purgatory. I want to have a guy like, at bare minimum, like Jalen. Jalen's not a spectacular passer. I think he's a average to slightly above average passer. Great runner. And then he shows up in big moments. That's what I want at bare minimum. And I feel like Justin could do that. He just needs to get there. He needs to show that potential. But I feel like he could, just going off of the little bit I've seen in the NFL and what I've seen in college. Just got to clean up some things, and he should be good. But like I said, just let's have a fun season. That's all I want. Besides that, I'm done. I'm out of here. Like, let's go. Season's about to happen. I think we're only 9 days away. Or not, yeah, 9 days away, 9 sleeps away. Let me see. Let me pull it up right here, too. Because the Jets just posted that right here. No, I can't expand it. But we're 9 sleeps away from the Jets playing the the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, hell yeah, let's go! I'm excited. And we got Aaron Rodgers coming back. A little revenge game for us. Our head coaches showing them that, yeah, we made the right decision, and you guys just picked up our scraps. We're gonna dominate you guys, and we're gonna win this game. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm hoping for. And I'm excited. God, it's been so long. I missed Jet football. And I'm just really, really happy that it's back. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. If you guys could go follow my socials, I'll have them down below. I appreciate everybody. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching.